Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Adam Dorsay, a psychologist in Silicon Valley and the host of SuperPsyched, a podcast dedicated to supercharging your life. Each episode contains fun, high-quality interviews with experts looking at psychology from all angles. SuperPsyched is your tool to get more of what you want in your life and less of what you don't. Have you ever seen a tribute band? I mean the kinds of bands who get together and lovingly and respectfully aim to recreate the music and experience of a classic rock group. Recently, my son and I went to see a Fleetwood Mac tribute band known as Mirage, Visions of Fleetwood Mac. To say they were awesome would be an understatement, and they have been endorsed as one of the world's best tribute bands by Mark Cuban's Access TV, and even Stevie Nicks herself has praised the band and the woman who brings her to life with Mirage. And while watching Mirage, I found myself wondering, what would it be like to train and ultimately get on stage and embody an iconic role like Stevie Nicks? Fortunately, Michelle Tyler, the woman who plays the part of Stevie in Mirage, was willing to talk with me about that, as well as so many other fascinating aspects of her life as a top-notch musician. Among many other topics we cover, Michelle shares how music has been a crucial part of her healing through grief, and even how she powers down to fall asleep after an energetic show. This is a fun and lively episode. Listen in as Michelle talks about becoming Stevie Nicks and the lessons learned through her life as a musician. Michelle Tyler, welcome to SuperPsyched.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
I cannot even tell you how happy I am. For the listener, I saw you on stage a few weeks ago, and what's so funny, and you don't know this, Michelle, I somehow missed out on Fleetwood Mac in my youth. Because in my youth, we were basically told that you're supposed to listen to hard rock, punk rock, or maybe new wave music. And Fleetwood Mac didn't fall into any of those categories. Later in life, my 16-year-old son gets obsessed with Fleetwood Mac, and my older son is into it as well. So much so that as my son was entering his school today, Fleetwood Mac was playing over the speakers.
It's everywhere.
So I'm listening to Fleetwood Mac, a band I missed out on. Every song's a banger, especially when Stevie's in on it. So I'm so glad to be speaking with you. When I took my son to see you guys on stage, I mean, you, Gary, and of course, the great Annie, who plays the role of Christy McVie, which we could not get over. And everybody else in the band was perfect. And you crushed it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, what you're saying about the younger ones, we just got back from doing a festival out in New Mexico. And the people that were right up against the stage, right up against the barrier, they were maybe anywhere between 15 to 22, 23. These girls, there were a lot of young girls, and they were singing along to every single song. They knew the words to everything.
That's what we saw at your show as well.
Yeah,
there were high school kids who were singing and dancing right up there.
Yeah, that's great that they're discovering this music again.
It's a testament to just how good it is. I mean, what they've created is so beyond belief. So let's talk about just tribute bands as a thing. I've noticed that there's been kind of a surge in great tribute bands, especially yours. What do you make of that? How has that been a thing?
Well, I started doing this about the tribute band thing. I've been a musician pretty much my whole life, doing cover music in bars and stuff like that. And sometimes it can be a grind, you know, it can be 5-6 days a week, 9 to 1:30 every day. You're playing dance music. People just want to dance. They don't really paying attention. And about 22 years ago, there was just very few tribute bands. And my husband and I wanted to get out of the bar business. There was a Led Zeppelin tribute here in California, very big one, by the way, called Led Zeppelin, who are fabulous. And they are. Jimmy Page came to their show and gave them 2 thumbs up. Yeah. And also there were, of course, Beatle tributes, and there were Elvis tributes. And I just said, well, maybe we could do this. Maybe we could get out of the bar business. And so we kind of put this together. The reason why there's so many tribute bands now is that there's not a lot of work in clubs anymore doing the 5-night slog. And so everybody's like, well, if I want to play music and I want to make some money or not, whatever, I got to be in a tribute band. When I started doing this, there was virtually nobody doing Fleetwood Mac or Stevie Nicks. And now there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. They're everywhere.
And I read somewhere that, Stevie knows your work and more than approves of your version, which is a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Yeah, she heard us over a phone call at a show. Her vocal coach's wife was at a show. We didn't know about it. Anyway, long story short, they were back east she was doing a show with Don Henley, like a duo show, and they put her on the phone and they were trying to get the call through. And of course, we're in the middle of a show, didn't know what the phone going around, hey, look over here, But they let her listen to me sing Silver Spring. And
of all the songs, that was the one they chose, my favorite. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. And so after it was over, we found out that they were trying to get the call through. And I was like, oh my God, I would, love to say hi to her, but I didn't know, I didn't know. So they put us in touch with the management because she wanted to wish us well. And we ended up going to one of her solo shows up in, I think it was in Reno. And I went backstage and I introduced myself to her and she was like, oh my God, we tried so hard to get that call through. She goes, we kept running over there. And I said, if I would have known bigger name on the other end, believe me, I would have taken the call, And I told her, I said, I just want you to know, we're very respectful of your music. And she goes, no, it sounded great. You do a great job. It's great to hear somebody playing my stuff and doing a good job. And I said, well, thank you. And she says, you sounded fantastic. You let me know whenever you want to take over. Because I've about had it.
That's the ultimate endorsement. Let me know when you want to take over.
Yeah, and
I've just about had it.
And I've met her a couple more times. And I know her cousin very well that lives in Scottsdale, comes to all our shows. So she's very, very, very nice to me anyway.
That's so wonderful. And you've taken on really one of the hardest, like a Mount Everest of vocal exercises, because she's a hard one to sing. And she's such a beloved voice.
Yeah.
So for you to have
unusual,
I kind of want to get into actually Silver Springs for a second, because the story behind the song is so funny. It didn't make the cut onto Rumors. Apparently Mick said it's not on it.
That's right.
And it's kind of the best song ever, for my opinion, of all these great songs to choose from. For me, it's the one that hits the hardest in my heart.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. It didn't make the cut on Rumors. Stevie was so mad at him because he said, basically, there's only so many grooves on a record. And it was kind of a long song. And so he left it out. And she had given the publishing to her mother. Her mother would have been a bazillionaire if that had gone on the Rumors album. So she was very mad. But the thing is, back in the day when there was these things called 45s, what was released was Go Your Own Way. And on the flip side was Silver Spring. So it was released on a 45. So it got some airplay because it was the flip side of Go Your Own Way. So I heard it, a bunch of people heard it, but it wasn't on any albums. And I was just like, back in the day, this song is fantastic. And she brought it back in 1990 with the dance that they did, that live video, the dance. And that was like the consummate performance with her like calling out Lindsay on that song.
Right, looking at him.
Yeah.
They were having these kind of texting feuds in the form of songs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty great.
But I agree, it's my favorite song.
Oh, they really knew too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I was so glad when you played it and you crushed it. Folks, if you haven't seen Mirage, you gotta see them, because literally everything they do, and just the levels of respect that is given to this incredible catalog of music. I want to talk with you about something kind of interesting. There's a phenomenon apparently when people are organ transplant recipients, they begin to take on the traits of, in some cases, some of the traits of the person whose organ originally was. And so here you are doing something kind of like, you're becoming Stevie Nicks. I saw you on stage. You became her. You walked like her. You had your mic set up like her. You sang like her. Has that changed your worldview by inhabiting someone else's world?
Yeah, when I put on the platform boots and I put on the stuff and I go out on stage, I feel, I mean, and she's still very much living, of course. So it's not like you're a medium challenge.
Right, exactly.
But I literally feel like what it would feel like to kind of step into her. And that's how I feel. I completely am not me. I'm completely in somebody else. Just kind of step in. And, when I'm just me around my house, I'm me. But I've paid very close attention over the years to everything she's done. And that's why, like you said, with the microphone things and everything, I try to be as authentic as I can, because I know that some of the people out there are not hardcore fans and they might not know the difference, but some people really do know the difference. So I want to try to be as much in that persona as I possibly can.
That's amazing. And let's hear about practice. Like, how do you practice this role? And for how long have you been doing it?
Well, I've been doing form of Stevie Nicks for about 22 years. I mean, I was singing, yes, long time, almost as long as she has. Even in my cover bands, I was, Dreams, I was singing that song. I just have looked at a lot of videos, and I used to drive my kids crazy because they'd be like, Mom, you have to watch this video again. I'm studying this. So that's kind of how I got into it.
And you happen to kind of look a little bit like her. You happen to be around her size. It's just kind of like perfect.
You know what's interesting? When you ever put anything out, it goes on Google, it goes on out to the big world. And I actually had a couple of my photos, my promo photos, taken off of Google, whatever, and sold on eBay. And,
oh my God.
And had a bogus autograph, and they sold it. And I didn't know about it. And somebody who knew me said, oh my God, you know that they're selling your photo on eBay? I contacted them. And of course, eBay's like, well, let the buyer beware kind of thing. So
incredible.
Yeah.
That is really,
it is. I mean, it's a compliment. I mean,
it's a compliment for sure to both of you. And so funny. Let's get into inhabiting her voice. Like to tune into her voice so well, which is such an iconic, I would say even an impossible voice to somehow find a way to portray. And yet you did. How do you even begin that process?
My natural voice is kind of, as you can hear, and kind of like in that timbre. I haven't had to work real hard at it. It's just kind of a natural thing for me. Because when I get into the persona, and I'm in the persona, and I also do an acoustic classic rock band. I play bass in an acoustic classic rock band. And it just does everything, like everything from Beatles, Eagles, Green Day, everything, blah, blah, blah. And when I'm singing cover songs in that band, I have a different voice. I still have my voice, but
I understand, but you do something different with it.
Yeah. So when I get dressed and I get into the headset of doing Stevie Nicks, I just go there. I just naturally just go there.
In addition to being a performer, it sounds like you're also a fan. And I had this really funny interaction with a cellist in Italy. I saw him play the Four Seasons, and it looked like, he was just so into it and so immersed. Afterwards, I asked him, how long have you been doing this? He said, 10 years. I said, how many nights a week? He said, 6 nights a week. And I said, and you're playing it as if you're playing it for the very first time. I felt that way when I saw you guys. Like you guys were playing with so much gusto, so much joy, so much energy. And I'm guessing it's a tribute also to how good the music is itself.
Oh, yeah. We love the music. That's the thing. The crew I work with that you saw, I work with a great crew. There's no drama, which, I'm not saying that I haven't worked with people with drama, because that just goes along. My other band back in 2000 was called Belladonna, and sometimes we called it Belladrama.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, this is a good crew, and we love the music. And when we get up there, it is joyous because we know we're very lucky, privileged to do what we do. We don't take it for granted. We don't just like, it's just another gig. Yeah, we're just going to make some money or not. And we're just going to, no, it's a privilege to me. It's a privilege to us.
It's crazy. And it just seems like such a confluence of so many great things. I mean, Gary is like, I know you really want to tell me good.
Yeah.
And then you come in right in and you bring Stop Driving My Heart Around. And it was like, he can do Lindsay. He can do Tom Petty.
Yeah. Oh,
and
he's a great singer. You never even heard what this guy can do. I mean, Gary is probably one of the most fabulous singers I've ever heard. I mean, he was subbing for like a foreigner band or Boston, and he's hitting all those notes.
Oh, those are impossible. And then you've got the blessing of having Anne in there playing the Kristen McVie piece, and she looks it, and she delivers it all, the voice and the piano. I mean, it's a great night to be out there. And what's it like afterwards? Are you just a puddle at the end, or like, as you put it, you work so hard?
No, I'm pretty
You're
hyped
stoked.
up. Yeah. When you do a great show and you got a great audience, like when I met you and your son, who, by the way, is adorable.
Oh my God, thank you.
He was so awesome. But it's like you do a great show and maybe you've worked really hard, but you feel just so pumped. That's how I feel. It takes me a while to come down.
So I have to ask you this question. Sleep is a really hard thing for a lot of us. And I'm guessing that sleep is really important for your performances, to sleep well. After you're so pumped, how do you get yourself down so you can sleep?
Well, it depends what we're doing. If we're doing a show where we're driving, then we have a long time because we're driving, right?
Right. You're driving your own stuff.
Well, local shows, like if we're doing something like when we did up north, that's like within a range that we can bring our own stuff. But like New Mexico, we have to fly. We're doing a tour in Germany in November. If it's a short period of time, getting back to the hotel or back to our homes, it's hard. It's a little hard. It's like you lay there and you think about the show and you kind of run through things in your mind. The committee, as you know, the committee is there.
The committee in your brain?
Yes, the committee.
Everybody, that's so good. The committee in your brain is weighing in on what went well and what didn't go well.
Yeah. Yep.
I would imagine taking a shower would be essential before going to bed. I would imagine that maybe having certain rituals, like perhaps putting on some calming music, or like what else helps you power down? Because if I could ask Taylor Swift one question, it would simply be that. How do you power down after a show? And for you, I saw you were a Marshall stack of wattage when you put out like all of that energy. And I'm just thinking, to power down is really hard. And even for us, those of us who don't do what you do, it's hard to power down. I'm just wondering what wisdom we can glean. And I'm guessing sleep is crucial for you to perform at that level too. So it's like, I gotta sleep.
I'm a bath girl. I shower to do my hair and all that stuff, but I'm a bath girl. And that's my ritual almost every night. I get in the bath. I got a big soaking tub. I get in there and I decompress in the soaking tub. And then when I go to bed, and I've got 3 little cats, and my little cats help me so much. I got one cat that's 19 years old and she's doing great, little tabby cat. She lays next to me in bed and just purrs. I don't know if you've read about the benefits of cats purring, but it's a frequency that is very calming. And she just purrs, and I have like my little music on, and I just kind of drift off eventually.
So great. A, I have cats. B, I've definitely tuned into the idea that the purr is good for us, for those of us, and I'm of the clan who loves cats. I'm a convert. I discovered cats later in life as well, and they're amazing. So it's so great that you have that. I also know that some of your other best practices are that you go to the gym 5 times a week. How does that help you perform?
It helps me perform because it keeps me limber. It keeps my cardio up. It helps with your breathing, with your diaphragm. It helps with your muscles. I mean, to walk around in those boots, I mean, Stevie's not even doing it anymore. I mean, it changes your point of gravity. Those are 6-inch.
Oh my God.
They're big. I mean, I'm 5'1". I'm the same height as Stevie Nicks.
No.
Everybody thinks she's huge. She's not. She's 5'1", and I'm 5'1". And that's another thing we have in common. She said she started wearing the platform boots because she was so short on stage. She looked so little compared to Lindsay. And so I go to the gym and I work on, balance and everything because, if I'm going to keep doing this, I have to be fit.
Absolutely. Let's turn for a second to something rather sad. I happen to know that your husband, Bob, died a year ago, September 3rd in 2024.
Yep.
And that you lost your daughter.
2016, yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, how has music helped you around these losses?
When Lacey, my daughter, passed away in 2016, I had Bob, and Bob was a musician. He was incredible. He did all kinds of things, and he's an Academy Award winner.
Oh my God.
award-winning technician for Warner Brothers, invented a lot of things. Was amazing. And music kept us going. It just does something to your soul, it keeps you going. And then now that Bob passed away, very unexpectedly and very tragically, just suddenly. And if it wasn't for the band and music and being able to just kind of check out and just become somebody else and just step into somebody else's shoes, I don't know. I mean, I'd be here, but I wouldn't be very functional, maybe. I don't know.
As you're sharing this, I'm suddenly transported back to the early 80s when Jennifer Beals in Flashdance was talking about she's a welder by day and a dancer by night. And that was when she came alive. And it sounds like this is a form of therapy for you to have the stage and a place for you just to really do something different so that you don't have to just live in the sadness and the grief.
That is true. And, and throughout Bob and my 40-something years of marriage, the music bailed us out of so many things. I mean, the 2008 recession, the writer's strike, because he was in the movie business, kept us going. Even during COVID, we used to do live from the living room shows right from our house here, where we would just do these live Facebook shows. And so many people at the time, because everybody was stuck in their house, right? They'd say, thank you guys for doing this, because we can't go anywhere and we can't see any music. And that kept us going. It kept us going through COVID, thankfully.
I am really amazed at your creativity to figure that out. Like, this is a way for us to tap into a part of who we are and keep it alive during this most incredibly trying time. And I'm guessing it was very therapeutic for you to do that.
Yes, it was. It was. And I think we did them almost every week. We did one edition that was all Beatles. It was 3 weeks because I played bass and he played guitar.
Right. So you were playing
and we
Paul.
we'd just be in the living room and I learned, I don't remember them all now, but I think I learned about 35 Beatles songs or 40 Beatles songs. And we did an edition that was all Beatles. And then we did different things,
I'm thinking about that, just having all of these catalogs, whether it's being able to play the bass parts of these songs or being able to just dial into the vocals of so many songs without even thinking. There's this funny phenomenon that happens with London cab drivers. London cab drivers have to pass this exam through which they show that they know every nook and cranny of London.
Oh,
and
wow.
what happens is a part of their brain called the hippocampus, which is their memory centers, become like double the size of us ordinary folk. And I'm thinking that there must be, I don't know the studies, but it'd be interesting to look up, like what happens to a musician's brain when they memorize so many lyrics, like what part of their brain becomes fortified? Because you have all of these songs. If I asked you to just deliver a song right now, you wouldn't even, or when you were just waking up, you'd know it. You don't, it's in your bones.
Well, I remember lyrics to songs that basically maybe I've heard one or two times from decades ago. They say like, and because you're a psychologist, the long-term memory kind of stays with you. And it's the short-term memory stuff that you have a problem with. I've never had problem with remembering words to songs. Never. Even in my little acoustic band, I don't have an iPad. I don't have a cheat sheet. I don't have notes. It's all here. The bass and the words are all here.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'd be curious to know. Let's talk about selecting fellow members. I mean, it's no mistake that your band has no drama. I'm guessing that you looked for, in addition to musical ability, you probably need to look for personality fit and certain traits that gave you the sense that there was no drama. How did you select a great team?
You can't really, it's interesting because, when you're auditioning people, everybody's on their best behavior, obviously. You can't really select them too much, but I mean, if they show up and they're drunk or something, or they show up and they're angry, then you just go, okay, bye-bye. But you just have to kind of go with your gut and just get a feeling, because you never really know people until you really, especially on the road. And back in the day when Bob and I were doing cover bands and we were all over the United States doing cover bands, we had a couple situations where we would hire somebody and they would get out on the road and be out there for 2 or 3 weeks. And then we find out they're raging alcoholics and they're chasing people around behind the counter at the hotel all night long. And that happened. And you kind of don't know. So I think my situation is that I'm very lucky that these people are all like sane people.
Well, I imagine it's both luck and you also are probably willing to part ways if you see somebody chasing people around a bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're
Yeah.
willing to say goodbye.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Because it affects your brand. It affects other people in the band. It's a toxic situation. You can't have that. But I've been lucky, I've been very fortunate. So
yeah. And it sounds like there's been an aspect of luck, but it also sounds like there's been an aspect of willingness to clean house when necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. Is there anything I should have asked but haven't yet asked?
Just the fact that we've been very fortunate and we work a lot. And, the old saying is, how do you get a musician to complain? You either give them a show or you don't give them a show. Because we'll complain if we have no work. We'll be like, oh my God, we're not working. Oh my God, I have too many shows. That's just what happens. And right now we are working a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot of time. I still have to do a big show up in Santa Ynez at the Chumash Casino next week. Big show. That's a big show. Very prestigious. They don't take many tribute bands. They all have like headliners. So we're very lucky. And then the next week we go to Arizona, to Casino, Arizona, and I will see Stevie's cousin, Minette. She comes to all our shows. She lives in Phoenix and Scottsdale. Yeah, she's very sweet. And then we pretty much get ready and we go to Germany for 20 shows in 30 days.
Unreal.
Yeah, it is unreal. It's
unreal.
Incredible.
And you told me that you're going to be facing some interesting challenges, including the fact that you won't be able to do laundry while you're there.
That's what they told me. That's what they said.
So that's
I'm like, we're not going to have a whole lot of time off anyway, but they said the hotels that we're in, they don't have laundry. I'm like, well, what do we do? And he's like, well, I go, take it to a laundromat? No, they don't have laundromats. I'm like, okay, they're going to have a stinky band. I don't know what.
As we sweat up there, we're working hard.
At least we'll all be in the same boat. You know what I mean?
That's right. We'll all be in the same stinky boat. Well, I'm going to ask you a question, Michelle, that I ask everybody on my podcast. It's my closer. It is my Silver Springs. So if you had the magical powers to confer upon all people one insider skill that you believe would improve the lives of that individual, and since we're all connected, perhaps it would improve the lives of people around them, what would that insider skill be? And how do you imagine it would improve the lives of that person and perhaps the people around them?
I would say to stop talking as much and to listen more, and to not get all caught up in day-to-day stuff that's going on, especially on social media, and be more tolerant of people, be more gracious, and just go out there and show the love. Be the person in the mirror. Be the person that you're looking back that you want to see. And that's how I feel.
I love that. What a beautiful rendering of that idea that we've got two ears and one mouth and we should use them accordingly. And that, just listening and being quiet is
sometimes you can do more with somebody, maybe it's even a person that has a different outlook on something, to just say, talk to me, tell me how you feel, and just let them speak without you coming in and jumping into the conversation, and just listen more. And I think as a society, sometimes we just don't use that skill. And I'm not saying I do it all the time, but I think that goes a long way. Being empathetic,
Yeah, and we're all works in progress. As long as we're working on improving our relationship with the committee between our ears as well.
The committee, yes.
Boy, the committee can be really, really cruel. And that's one of the reasons why self-compassion has become such a studied discipline.
Compassion, absolutely.
Oh my God, but I just can't thank you enough, Michelle Tyler, for being with me today and for sharing your wisdom and your stories. Just wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for inviting me. It's been great talking to you.
Right on. This is Dr. Adam Dorsay thanking you for listening to SuperPsyched. If you know anyone who might like it or who might benefit from listening, share it. And if you like the episode, please hit subscribe.